Welcome, sentient beings from all known universes and beyond. It's time to activate your cranial downlinks and prepare to receive a raft of discussion on a cosmic ocean of science fiction and fantasy topics, interviews with local area genre devotees, and insightful prognostication by our soothsayers of science fiction, our forecasters of fantasy, and any other beings that happen to get caught in our gravity well. This is the Galactic Driftwood Podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. I'm Bart Fang.
I'm still Linda.
Charles.
I'm Ronnie Black.
I'm Jenna.
Yep, and we're happy to have Benito back with us again on this episode. We're going to be talking about NebKon, which is happening this week, actually. Today's the last day. And Seth and I and Benito were there doing a live D&D game. We'll be talking about here in a little bit, which is pretty fun. But we got there. We had a couple other friends with us, Katie Otten, who's been on the show a couple times, and Barry Dunn, who's been on the show once a while back. So anyway, we'll get that in a little bit, but just wanted to, talk to Seth and Benito. What'd you guys think of NebKon overall? We don't have a whole lot of time to kind of run around, but we got to check out the vendor room. What'd you guys think?
It was a vendor room.
It was great.
I'm just kidding.
Good grief, Benito.
Notice as cons more, you're seeing more and more of the 3D printed goodies.
I actually didn't see very many 3D printed goodies there. At least
That's
not for sale.
Yeah, I thought that this vendor room really mirrored the original feel of NebKon. 100%.
Yeah.
It was really anime based, which is totally fine. That's great because it's, Anime NebrasKon. The influences were really heavy there for sure this year.
Hello.
Yeah, there's a real focus on, like Benito said, on anime, but there's also a huge focus on there. I know it's a big crossover, but there's a ton of cosplay stuff in there, beautiful handmade stuff, and some new. There's also plenty of dice. I saw a couple really good dice vendors.
You were really tempted to pick up a set of those dice.
Did you see those shard dice, Benito?
No, you know what? I only had a little bit of time, and I buzzed that room so fast, I didn't even see that there was a dice vendor. I missed it.
Yeah, there was one, or there were a couple who made their own, kind of like you do, but they were these really cool, like big shard dice, like they looked like really sharp shards of crystal.
Oh wow!
Did you read the name?
I did, but it's downstairs.
Well, that's not very helpful.
Well, I didn't think that it would come up.
Yeah, and
So
they also had a guy there made his own wooden boxes for dice, carrying dice.
Yeah, I did see that.
Off and makes its own little dice tray, and then they're held together magnetically, and then he also had like a little magnetic dice roller that snapped onto that dice holder tray as well, which was pretty cool, I thought. Very clever the way he designed it.
Is this the dice maker here?
What's that?
Is this the dice maker here?
No.
Okay.
Random cosplay.
Rare stones and things.
I see.
The booth previous to that one was an artist who had rugs with his art like woven on them, and they were really good, and I wanted them so bad. He had this really cool looking Zelda
Were these rugs that you hang on a wall or rugs you actually leave on the floor?
It looked like they could be. They do look like floor rugs, and I have to imagine that they would look really cool on the floor, but they also were very nice, and I don't know that if I'd want to put anything on them or step on them. So I'm deeply conflicted about what I would do with one of those rugs.
Well, you need like a castle so you can hang it like a tapestry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think castle. I like castle.
You like what?
I like the idea of a castle. Castle
Yes.
Swanson.
How fun would it be to have D&D games in a castle?
Oh, that'd be rad.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
surprised I'm surprised one of these rich nerds hasn't done it yet.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have one up on them here in about a week. 2 weeks, right?
Coming right up.
We're gonna be doing a D&D game in a haunted hotel. So we'll be definitely back on to talk about that event. So let me jump forward. See if you can see maybe the guy with the boxes.
Oh, is that the Imaginarium boxes?
No.
I don't think I saw Imaginarium there.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I'm the crystal guy.
Yeah, these were. So you can see right here, they've got like backpacks with LED kind of video on them, and I saw these like wandering around all over this time. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder if you can set your own images on those.
I'm sure you've got to be able to. They get them on there somehow.
Yeah.
And it's not like those images are exactly licensed by them anyway, I'm guessing.
Critters.
I appreciate the critters.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I saw? There were, oh man, some of like these like statues. These ones are like $40, but some of like you can see a bigger vendor in the back. They've got some that are really, really, really nice, and they go up to like $500, $600 for some of these statues.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. That was the one where they had the risque ones, right, Seth?
Well, oh yeah. In the back there was. So those were actually costing more because those were stuff that he made personally.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, they were. It was a mix of the risque statues, but also some really impressive dioramas. What was that one? Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. It was Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, it was like Kingdom Hearts, and he had like set it up so it had a really cool, like infinitely repeating set of lights in a mirror behind it somehow. It was rad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What I've been really impressed with cons lately is not just with 3D printing, but a lot of other things. Like it's turning more maker, even at the small cons. Yeah. Like you're seeing people do independent stuff on their own. I mean, yeah, they might be wholesaling vending, but it's really impressive what people are starting to put together. I went to another con earlier this month, the MidAmerica Fair for metaphysical topics, and there was a lot of 3D printed, but also a lot of handmade artwork, decorations, things like that, and it was really cool to see. Like there was maybe only a handful of vendors that did not have handmade stuff.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then a lot of interesting handmade stuff as well earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is what I think you see at, or what I think I saw at in the NebrasKon room or merchant room more than I see at any other con were vendors who were selling things and pieces for cosplay, to make cosplay and like to accessorize existing outfits and that sort of thing. Like it was a lot more pieces to build your own rather than full pieces of an outfit.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the cosplay contest. which was just packed with people.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
Yeah, this was a little bit crazy because I'm used to. I don't know if I've ever really been to one of these. One of the Anime NebrasKon cosplay contests, because I was surprised. The cosplay contests I know are you go up there, you see the person, they walk up and they walk down and they walk off. This was a whole lot more performance, like talent or dance or talent show, in addition to awesome costuming.
Yeah, it's everybody does a skit basically. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's time to switch to the meat of the matter here.
I mean, we could
the bloody raw meat of the matter, and talk about the D&D adventure. So, I'm gonna let you jump in here and talk about the campaign you designed.
The campaign, yeah, the Valdaxin amateur carpenter.
Yes.
Campaign.
Right.
His little displacer beast kittens. The kittens were a big hit.
They were.
Yeah.
So,
what's that?
Were you tossing kittens into the crowd this time instead of spiders?
No, we should have though. That'd have been a good idea. So I wish we'd have taken a picture into more further in also, because there's a lot of empty chairs there that weren't empty.
Yeah, that place was packed by the time we started.
Yeah, I noticed there were people along the wall also. So we did a good job of packing the house. I think this was during setup.
Yeah.
When we were setting mics up and stuff. And I had originally thought, maybe we're not going to fit in with this crowd necessarily, was one of my thoughts. And then we got kind of crowbarred in at not really the last minute, but almost the last minute. I just could not get hold of anybody to do the show. And when they did get us in, and I saw it was a 9 p.m. slot. Oh, here we go. That's a better pick.
Yeah.
I thought, man, we're not going to have anybody there. It's just so late, and we didn't get it really advertised too much. And I walked down to that room to see if we could do a little early setup, because they only gave us 2 mics and we needed 5. So there was going to be a lot of, mixing boards that we had to hook together and plug in mics. And when I walked down that hallway was packed with people that were waiting for panels and were, interested in the panels that were going on. And then I got kind of a spark that we might get a pretty decent crowd. And yeah, it ended up filling up, that whole room.
Yeah.
And the crowd was amazing. But as far as the campaign goes, I went on a tangent there. So you guys had already known each other from the last campaign. And the kicker, or the tagline, if you will, is always that you're the adventurers that you're all that a certain price range can afford.
We're the bargain basement adventurers.
Bargain bin heroes.
If you have something you want fixed and you don't have a lot of money, and it doesn't really matter too much to you if it actually is fixed, then you hire us.
You get what you pay for.
But it went really good. So you guys got hired there was Valdaxin the Beholder.
Yep.
And he had stolen the shard of teleportation.
Right.
And he'd stole it from the kingdom, and the kingdom had sent a wizard out to go retrieve the shards, and then the wizard got captured. So now you've got to defeat Valdaxin, you got to get the shard, and you've got to also save the wizard. And as you got into normally when we do these, because we can't do a whole lot in 2 hours or 2.5 hours, you guys were already in, and I think you guys had made it to the first room when we started. We didn't do the traveling to or starting at the inn and all that stuff. You came in, there's kittens everywhere. The cutest little beholders. Not beholders.
Beholder. Displacer beasts, kittens.
Yeah.
Cutest little displacer beast kittens. And so I just thought that'd be kind of cute that he likes kittens. And, of course, all through the thing, you realize how arrogant he is. And he's hired artists to paint himself in these grandioso scenes and ornate rugs everywhere, golden statues of himself. And I thought the kittens would just be kind of a fun deal. And Katie took those kittens really Well, everybody did, but
Yeah.
Katie took that first sets of kittens and convinced them that they should fight for her so that she didn't have to get her hands dirty. So these cute little sweet black displacer beast kittens did all of her dirty work, and they ended up getting a killing blow on. Well, one got a killing blow on the minion beholders,
and all Barkan wanted to do was eat them.
Right?
Because he's a werewolf.
Speaking of Barkan, we might have to change that from PG-13 to PG, or not PG-13, 13 plus to 18 plus. Or R.
We did get a little blue towards the end. About the middle onward, we just got blue, a little. We just kept getting more and more shades of blue. Linda, I've got a picture of a displacer beast kitten. If you want to share that, just
that's
so people know what we're dealing with.
Oh,
yeah.
That's exactly. They were everywhere.
There is another name for cats.
Yes, the P word.
Yes, that it can't be used.
It's okay to use that as long as you use them together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cats.
We kept joking. We were keeping track of how many emails I was going to get. I think we're up to 6 or 7.
NebKon after dark. You're okay.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Sir, my child was present for your terrible performance.
But we kind of got a feel for the crowd. We didn't, people would come and go, honestly, but the majority of everybody stayed. And then people who were coming in to see what was going on, they stayed. And if things went a little bluish or so, some people would get up and leave. It wasn't many, but there were people that hung out all the way through, all the way to the end. And I greatly appreciated that.
Yeah, most people were encouraging it, I feel. Egging us on.
But the crowd
got to Bill Daxon's hole.
So I was saving that bit, and I knew that we were working up to it as it got later and later and closer to midnight. It's getting a little bluer, and the crowd's actually hanging in there. And then we're getting a feel for crowd participation was over the top. It was amazing. They made the show just as much as we did. And the crowd's starting to get a little blue, and so I knew in the end, so to speak, that Val Daxon, the amateur carpenter, was going to be okay. And so his first handiwork was he was constructing a hole. So in his throne room, when you walk in, there's a giant, beautiful golden throne where he levitates above, I guess. Beside that, he had the wizard chained up to the wall with the, over his head. He was unconscious.
Naked.
There's a lot of nudity in the campaign. We thought Ronnie might be naked at one point, but it didn't quite work out that way.
Well, if I would have done the thing with the displacer beast, you could have made it happen. Or not the cube.
Oh, right. Yeah, the cube. Yeah,
I would have jumped into the cube to save Kit.
All right. Well, we had an elderly gelatinous cube that'd been around for a while, and that was good. Anyway, so on the other side of the throne, when they walk in to fight the big boss, he has his back turned and he's staring at the wall. And it slowly reveals as he turns around to see the crew in the room that there was just a hole in the wall that he chipped out, and he was very proud of himself for constructing this hole where he could store things in. So the whole conversation was, what do you think of my hole? And
we need to investigate Val Daxon's hole.
Yeah, Barkan asked him if he needed help making his hole bigger.
Yeah, it was just every hole joke imaginable.
Everyone needed, at the end, we all needed together to reach into Val Daxon's hole.
Pull out the treasure.
Like 12-year-olds.
It was. It was so funny.
Look at them. They're going to start again.
So great. Yeah, he was like, what do you think of my hole? I'm an amateur carpenter. Come and inspect my hole. It was just everything you could find.
So the key is, if you're ever in Omaha for a Comic-Con or an Anime Con, then you need to check out the D&D, the perfection of their D&D campaign.
Especially if it starts at 9 o'clock or later.
And if you're an anime fan that doesn't have a con yet in Nebraska. Like this is a pretty good one. This is actually NebKon's 20th year.
Oh wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Benito, you said you've been going for 11 years?
10 or 11 years, yeah.
Yeah. I went to the first Anime NebrasKon when I was in Lincoln at the top floor of the student union at UNL.
God, what year was that? Did I go to that too?
It would have been, I think, 20 years ago. So that would have been 2003.
Yeah.
2003.
So I did that too. Holy crap. I'm old.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when the dealer's room was like 10 tables, maybe.
Oh, wow.
But still, like, I got my first soundtrack CDs from Japan there for a non-exorbitant price, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah. Then
it's cool to see how it's okay to be fans of all of this now. Because when Seth and I were teenagers, our parents had a lot of problems with it. I mean, because anime was just associated with porn. Like I had it taken away from me when I was like a sophomore in high school because my parents said I was doing it too much. And that
how your parents knew that it was associated with porn. What were they doing?
I don't think it was ever really an issue. That was ever really an issue in my household, but it might have been if my parents saw some of the anime. Like even like Slayers, they wouldn't have liked. Just like to be clear.
Yeah,
well, there is something. As you guys have been talking, I'm like, what kind of person with very innocent ears would go to an anime festival and watch Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
That person would be destroyed.
I be at let's say 12 or something, and I wouldn't have been easily offended, even at that age, right?
Yeah, I did see one some parents to walk out with their son, but that was halfway through, and I'm not sure if they came in later and then they're like, "Oh, this is a little too blue for us," and they left.
They're talking about his leather cod piece now.
You guys don't know. You don't know how lucky you are because you've been around anime since 2003, and Bill and I are fairly new to it, and friends our age just think we have gone off the rails. We have to hang around young people.
Any animation, though.
Fair, they thought that for years, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing about Bill that makes me think he was ever on the rails or had seen them.
That's probably true also.
So I have for you guys.
Well-earned relationship within the neighborhood.
Maybe you need to start every con having your own dice that you either auction off or do a raffle for, like a special,
Right.
Go RPG dice that goes for that session that you can either like people raffle or auction or just flat out buy.
Yeah,
From
that's
Bill
great.
Jackson's hole.
Make sure they're brown.
Oh God, yeah.
The cosplay is also on a completely other level from when they started.
Yeah.
You remember, Jenna? Like back in the day before people really like when they were just like getting started.
Yep.
Seriously, and now we've got freaking masks that move when people talk, the integrated lights that some people put into the costumes. I saw
so many more materials and technology now. That's
True. Yeah.
LED lights that weren't available back then.
I know, but even like the stuff that's just like pure like sewing and craft work is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how many people have taught themselves how to make clothes for their
armor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the talent base out there is just amazing.
Yeah, some of the costumes I saw just like blew my mind, and those were ones that weren't even in the cosplay contest. They were just people who were out having a good time, had just tremendous cosplays.
What did you guys see Princess Pinhead?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, is that from Mystery Men? No.
That's
Pinhead from the. Oh, go ahead.
But no, you go ahead.
It was Pinhead from the horror movies from
gotcha.
and then Princess Peach basically is how she was dressed, but her makeup was white and she had, pink square, the grid, and then in each intersection were pink pins or nails. And
Wow.
she had the puzzle box, but it was pink and white, and she had this beautiful princess dress on. And
did the puzzle box have a question mark on it?
It should have. I don't know if it did or not.
I really hope it did.
Oh, it was beautiful. Her whole outfit was just spot on. Every nail was perfectly aligned and perfectly spaced, and it was a really cool crossover. That was definitely my favorite one that I saw.
So, do you know about why that crossover happens
in general?
Yeah,
crossplay.
Yeah, that specific Princess Peach crossover cosplay.
No, do you know something?
Yeah, there was an actual. This was a big kind of thing, and it's continued for a couple of years. Where and we might have even talked about it on the show. One of the previous Mario games, there was a power up in it. It was a Princess Peach mushroom that turned Toadette into a Princess Peach cross with her, and then people were like, "Well, if we have this power up, we can give it to whoever we want and just make anyone we want into a Princess Peach." Thus began the great crossing of everything with Princess Peach.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, started with the Mario properties, went with Bowser becoming Bowsette and Boo becoming Boozette, and then it started leading out into other Nintendo properties until it just spread to horror now, I guess.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's a cool one.
I still saw a couple Bowsettes yesterday.
We also saw a couple of fembots from Austin Powers with the machine guns in their jumblies.
Oh yeah. We after the performance, when we were getting out and going or leaving, I realized that it was the big dance that was going on, and so everyone had changed costumes for the dance. Basically, the cosplay, rave, whatever it is.
They bring in all kinds of great.
Which was DJ'd by Jesse Ty, who I've known since he was 15 and DJing college parties at UNL, where his big brother was at. So it's been really cool to see him evolve and become even more amazing artist that he is. So if you ever want to listen to his music, just check out DJ Tied Up, TYED Up. He's got some good stuff on YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They also are on Friday night, and I wish I would have known about this beforehand, so I could have gone at least, or we could have maybe gotten some pictures they had in it. A cosplay burlesque, and that had a lot of cool looking performers in it.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Including a guy I know named Lathan, who's been really getting into his cosplay, and he's been into martial arts forever. So he has some really cool performances.
Well, that's cool.
All right.
Yeah, very diverse. There's a lot of things going on there. And then this is the first, I've been going to that same venue over in Council Bluffs now for a while, but I don't know why I didn't notice it or didn't know anything about it. Didn't even know there was a second floor where you can go in the gaming area. Yeah. And then there's the suites. If you go at the next level again, there are the suites up there. And everybody's got access to that too. And it's just beautiful lounging area. You can overlook the vendor hall. There's a lot of the screening rooms were in there for different movies or anime series that were going on. And yeah, I just never ventured up that way until I had to. Yesterday.
My guess is that they probably, Anime NebrasKon has now gotten big enough to rent all 3 floors. And I'll bet some of the smaller conventions just get the main floor.
Yeah. That's what one of the organizers was telling me, is that they just get the entire building, which is way bigger than Ocon is.
Yeah.
And they're Like there were more people on the first floor, I think, while we were there, than there were at all of Ocon, and there was still like more people up above.
Yeah.
The gaming area was pretty well packed.
Yeah, they had a really cool gaming area. Like they had it was like 10 or 10:30 or so when I stopped by, and it was popping not 10:30. It was earlier on, but they had a Smash Brothers tournament going. They had Mario Kart tournament going. They had Street Fighter, Tekken. They had old games. They had classic games. They had all sorts of stuff set up. It was a cool place, and they also had a pretty good board game library too.
Yeah, that whole
good
space
part.
Yeah, there were a lot of tables. Oh, no, go ahead.
There were a lot of games of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh going on. Let me tell you.
Yeah, all those tables were, you could fit. It looked like 8 people around the tables, and all those tables were packed with people playing games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really cool area to sit down and play. Also, you're kind of away from the hustle and bustle downstairs of what was going on, and it was just its own really nice section to play some. If you checked out some board games or card games.
Yeah, I think when NebKon started out, I think the flyers or some of the material I was given said they started with their 300 people in attendance, and now they're up to 8,000.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I wonder what it looked like. I got there at 9 to get my badge, and I was in and out by 9:30. And of course, there wasn't a lot of people then. And then I got there sort of late, 6:30, quarter till 7, and I'm sure it had thinned out. I'm just curious what it must have looked like midday Saturday. I bet it was just jam packed with people.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy because I was waiting for Seth to come. Seth picked up the passes for us to get in, and so I was waiting where you buy the actual tickets. And I was talking to the security guy there, and he said the lines were just unbelievable by mid-morning and kind of late afternoon for some reason.
The line for the cosplay contest was insane. That thing wrapped a considerable way around the building and then wrapped back around.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
Like just to get in to see it. It was nuts.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've always gone to the cosplay contest, and that whatever ballroom they put everybody in is always packed. There's almost never a seat to find if you don't get in there early enough.
And it's a huge presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good grief! Like, I was just thinking, like, how much it is got to cost to put on that cosplay contest. They have like a light. They've got light set up. They've got video. Like, look at this. This is a full-on like performance here.
Yeah,
they got people on video. They got people on lights. They got people on sound. This is like, I can see why people line up to pack in because this is a show.
Yeah. Well, you can see how big the crowd is there too. I mean, even as dark as it is, you can kind of see it just goes way back to the end of the room, and and just about every seat was full. So
I always find it amazing too that, like Seth said, there's some amazing cosplays that are just walking around, and I know those are going on during the contest. So it's like these people didn't even enter.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
and then some of these are just completely over the top. So it's always a really good show. If you ever get a chance to check it out one year, definitely.
Yeah,
live D&D, but
the costumes that go into the cosplay contest are usually amazing, like with articulating wings and things like that. Some of these just like blow my mind that people. Oh, and to be in the contest, you have to make the costume yourself. You can't have bought it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
There's a judging
now anymore, just because there's so much talent that they have to have a cutoff somewhere, or else you'd be there all night.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Oh wow. Wow, that makes my Baymax Stormtrooper look a little amateur.
A little sketchy.
How funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, I appreciate that you guys played in the live show. So I don't mean to keep coming back around. I know, but that's why I'm on here. But I appreciate you guys playing. You guys brought a lot to the game, so I appreciate it.
But you brought a lot to the game. Come on.
We appreciate you organizing it and setting it all up, because you make such a funny, hilarious campaign. It's just easy to rip off of what you start out with. So it's easy for us to go off the rails.
Yeah, there were some good points.
Yep. All right. Well, cool. Well, we hope you guys, if you didn't get a chance to check out Anime NebrasKon this year, plan to do that next year. Maybe we'll see you there, or you'll see us doing our live D&D show again. So
yeah, as long as they'll have us.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you next time. See y'all.
Okay. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Galactic Driftwood Podcast. For more information and past episodes, please visit our website at galacticdriftwood.space or subscribe to us on YouTube. And now, please deactivate your cranial downlinks, collect your towels, and be sure to watch your step as you exit our gravity well.